Good evening and happy Ruby anniversary. I have to admit, I miss being in a great big room with all of you and giving and getting 1,000 hugs in a single evening. And yet still how wonderful it is that we can gather in this way. And we do come together on an evening of real joy and celebration at this momentous milestone. We also all know that this is a time of grave challenge, roiling anger, and as we speed towards November, the very highest of stakes. We face pandemic, natural disasters, morally bankrupt national leadership, and a reckoning 401 years in the making over the killing of Black people and the grave horrors of systemic racism. And I know for so many of us, it feels like every day it is something else. And yet this is also a moment of profound hope, fragile hope, but profound hope. Because the voices in the streets of America, which I know include many of your voices, those are calling on all of us to change. And when we do change, after all of the hard work that will require, when we do change, then this precious but achingly troubled world of ours, it can change too. This is the proverbial rainy day. And I believe fervently that it is on the rainiest of days that we can shine our brightest, that we can rise higher than ever before, that we can be the kind of community that we all hold dear. And that is exactly what we've seen with the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund. The community rallied, so many of you rallied, and together we are bringing more than $940,000 to LGBTQ nonprofits all across the San Francisco Bay Area. In time, the Foundation's response to COVID-19 will weave into Horizon's 40+ year history. And there it will join all of the other many times that Horizons has been there for our community. HIV, the Night Initiative, Prop 8, the Great Recession, fighting for the rights of transgender people, and so many more times that Horizons has been there. And Horizons has been there early, and it's been there often. At every step, this foundation has been the work of thousands and thousands of people, overwhelmingly volunteers. 40 years of engaging in the quiet and by no means always glamorous work of building brick by brick by brick, a community institution unlike anything before seen on earth, a foundation that is of, by, and for our community, now and forever. And they built this foundation on a bedrock of principles that we still strive to meet every single day. That we place first those who are most marginalized, that we will leave nobody behind, that it's in our vast diversity that we find what is truly our greatest strength, that every gift, no matter how great or how modest, that every gift counts. And Horizons has always understood, all the way from the founders right through to the present day, that we are part of a great movement, a great human movement for justice and equality, for pride and simple universal human dignity, a movement that relentlessly centers LGBTQ people and at the same time understands in its very bones that this movement cannot be separated from the movements for racial, gender, and economic justice. A movement that knows that Black lives matter. A movement that knows that even the very most privileged among us cannot be free, truly free, until everyone is free. And so here we are, 40 years at a momentous milestone. And it's not just about applauding 40 years of groundbreaking history. This is about the future, about the next 40 years and beyond. Because we all know that Horizon's work, the work of our movement, our work, is still far from over. And we stand on this fine hilltop of 40 years, and we know there is a mountain still to climb. And we also know that ultimately climbing that mountain is the work of generations. And that is why, as our community's foundation, Horizons is committed to building, through planned giving, through what many of us are able to leave for future generations, the resources to ensure that they are able to climb their own hilltops. And that one day, they will be able to scale that very tallest mountain. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this vision with us. Thank you for all of the ways in which you have supported Horizons Foundation over the years and tonight, that you've invested in our movement, that you have helped to make the world even a little bit more just. After 40 years, Horizons accomplishments could fill a book, but its greatest achievement, its greatest accomplishment has been the extraordinary array, the extraordinary community of activists, donors, volunteers, grantees, doers, dreamers, leaders, all united in a single unshakable commitment to creating a world in which every LGBTQ person lives freely and fully. And that includes every one of you. You are Horizons Foundation. You are the Horizons family. Your gifts, your time, your passion, those are the things that have carried us to this splendid and thrilling hilltop. And I thank you. My outstanding colleagues, thank you. Horizons' marvelous board of directors thanks you. And I know, and I know this deep down, that while I cannot speak for them, I know that the millions of LGBTQ people in future generations, that they will thank you too. Happy 40th anniversary. Thank you again for being with us tonight and for being with us on the road ahead.